Welcome to the Future Ride. This is an exclusive VIP session for those who participated in the Mirror Magic Challenge and the Mirror Lab. So that small group of folks is joining us live. I also want to say hello and welcome all of those who may be watching this recording in the future, right? Since this is the Future Ride. My name is James Flaskamp. I am Genially's community builder for the US and Canada, and I am honored and privileged to be moderating our roundtable discussion today. Now, before we get started, just a couple quick notes for our live attendees. And so I'll go ahead and move this forward. If you'd like to follow this session in your own language, just look for the little interpretation icon. If you're on the browser version, you'll see it right on the bottom bar. And if you're using the app, whether on desktop or mobile, you'll find it under the More menu. Once you've selected your desired language, you can unmute the original audio. Totally up to you, however you want to do it. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the Future Ride is interactive. So I invite you to join our Genially Live now. Go ahead and click the link that is appearing in the chat. If it's not there already, it'll be there in just a moment. But there's a join link for our Genially Live that will allow you to enter and participate as we go through our roundtable today. There will be some audience polls and some opportunities for you to kind of throw in your ideas as we're moving through that roundtable. Good. I see people are joining. Yay. Awesome. So the link is there for you. Just go ahead and click the link, enter your name, and that will get you in. Also, keep in mind that this session does include Q&A with our panel of experts. So to take advantage of that, all you have to do is just put your question in the chat at any time. Our Genially team is here. We have our chat moderators, and we'll be collecting those questions, and we'll ask as many as we have time for at the end of the roundtable. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and test the chat out right now. Where are you joining us from? Go ahead and pop that in the chat real quick. Where are you joining us from, and what do you do there? Drop that in the chat. I always love to get to know our audience a little better and see where everyone is joining us from. All right, I see Chile, I see West Virginia, Frisco, Texas, Lima, Peru, Cali, Colombia, Milan, Italy, Guadalajara, Mexico, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Cairo, Egypt. Yeah, for Mo, it's like, yeah, I see Mo drinking some. I hope that's some strong coffee, buddy, because I think it's like midnight there, right, or something like that.
No, no,
Oh
no, no, it's
gosh.
not. Yeah, it's 6 p.m.,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, well, hey, that's not too bad at all then. Yeah, the last
Cool.
time we did this, I think it was midnight. Okay, awesome. So yeah, we have people joining us from everywhere. This is great. This is great. All right, well, players, here we go. This is set up a little bit like a video game. So I'm gonna press start on our video game. And we have our first little audience question for you. So those of you in the Genially Live, go ahead and pick your player. What player are you? When you play a game, are you the explorer? Are you the builder? Are you the strategist? Or are you the storyteller? You can just click right there on your screen. You can choose whichever one you think you are, right? I don't know. I vary from day to day, it seems, depending on what project I'm working on. But yeah, you can go ahead and click on that to choose your player. And let's see the answers. Let's see what we have here. Oh, so we have mostly builders so far. All right. So we have about half of our audience that responded here are builders. We have some strategists, some explorers, some storytellers. We have a little bit of everybody. That's great. Yeah, it seems that is usually the case. Awesome. Let's take a look at another one. How about your XP level with gamification? So where are you right now when it comes to your level of experience with gamification? Are you 0 to 99 XP? Are you in tutorial mode? Are you in apprentice? Are you a quest builder, or are you at boss level? Are you coaching or publishing stuff with relative frequency? Let's see what we have there. We have, oh, okay, all right. So we have mostly apprentice here, but we have some tutorial mode. We have some quest builders. Oh, we don't have any boss level. Okay. All right. Well, maybe by the end of this roundtable, once you hear from our awesome roundtable participants, maybe you'll feel a little bit more boss level. All right. Awesome. Well, as fun as it is to, hear me yammer on and on, I think it's time to introduce the folks that you're truly here to see, our awesome roundtable panelists. So, I'm going to go ahead and advance here, and you can see our panelists. And feel free, if you're in the Genially Live, you're able to click around here, click into the info, and learn a little bit more about each of our roundtable participants. But let me just tell you, this is going to be a treat. So first up, I want to introduce to you Jeremy Kaplan. He is the Director of Teaching and Learning at CUNY's Newmark Graduate School of Journalism and creator of the Entrepreneurial Journalism Creators Program, author of the Wonder Tools newsletter, joining us live from New York. Right? I'm sure maybe you've heard that before. Well, welcome, Jeremy. Great to have you.
It's great to be here on election day here in New York City.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, all right. Next up, we have Mo Ash. Mo is a globally recognized gamification expert and a learning architect. He is the founder of The Catalyst, joining us from all the way out in Cairo, Egypt. Welcome, Mo.
You're most welcome. Always happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, buddy. And finally, we have Armando Cortez, Corporate Coordinator of Innovation and Technology at Canadian School in Mexico, with 15 plus years leading educational projects, teacher training, and digital content. Welcome, Armando.
Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Yes, great to have all of you. I'm really excited, and I'm sure our audience is really excited to hear your insights and your expertise. All right, y'all, let's get into the discussion. Here we go. So, level one is called Myth Breaker. The question will be on the screen, and we also have an audience poll there on the screen. So, while our roundtable panelists are discussing, audience members, feel free to participate in that poll. We'll take a look at the results of that poll once we get done with each question. But yeah, we're gonna get warmed up here a little bit. This first question is going to start. We're gonna start with Jeremy. We're going to start with a different person with each question, and then everybody else can kind of chime in. The other guys can chime in afterwards if you want to. But Jeremy, this one's yours to start with. And the question is this: what is a gamification belief that you keep hearing that's only half true or maybe not true at all?
So two myths I often hear as a teacher. I teach graduate school, but I also occasionally visit other younger students to teach. And two myths I often encounter are, number one, that it's really time consuming to gamify something. And secondly, that it's technically complicated and requires a lot of technical skill. So it's true that you can spend hours gamifying something. If you want to come up with a super complicated kind of thing, you can do that. Or you can pour a lot of technical skill into something that's really technically complex and sophisticated. But you can also do something really, really simple as a facilitator or a teacher and educator. You can do something with paper and pen. You can do something with simple sand timers. I have all sorts of little paper games and card games, light cubes. You can do stuff that doesn't require complicated technology. I have students fold up a paper into 8 sections. So you fold it once, you fold it again, and you fold it a third time, and now you have 8 sections. And we play a game where you put something different in each of those 8 sections, for example. So gamification can be simple, it can be low tech, it can be fast, it can be easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be exhaustively time consuming.
Good, good. Guys, anything else you want to add to that?
Well,
One other quick thing I would say with the tool like Genially, you can use templates, right? So you do it once,
Yeah,
and maybe the
yeah.
first time it takes a little bit more time to set it up, but then you redo it. So you make a Jeopardy game, you make some other kind of game show, you make something playful, a bingo. And yeah, maybe the first time you have to figure out how to set it up or you have to adjust it for your students, but then you reuse it and repurpose it. And so the investment might be a little bit upfront, but then you can reuse it throughout a period of time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Armando, I think you were saying something, right?
yeah, thank you, James. Just to add
Yeah.
to Jeremy's comment, there's lots of teachers or educators that we have this misbelief that we need to erase, that everything, when we're talking about gamification, everything has to be a Mario Party lookalike game, an activity, or a Mario Kart, or a really complicated escape room that has lots of different levels. So that's something that, yes, you can do once in a while. You can do in special projects, in special activities, but that's not something that you will have to do commonly or on regular basis. So we have to take that idea that everything will have to be like really cool design, a really complicated design. If you have that idea, that will lead you to a complicated and time-consuming experience. That it's okay once in a while. But if you want to go low tech and really easy and with simplicity, also that's really important. You don't have to create cool designs and cool environments to create a really engaging gamification experience.
Right,
Amen.
right. Yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's not sustainable, right? To do big complex things all the time. When you're a busy educator, a busy instructional designer or corporate trainer, it's like you don't have time to do all of these crazy things all the time, right? Yeah, absolutely. Here, let's take a look at our audience poll real quick and see what our folks had to say. So the myth about gamification that they say they hear most is that it's just points and prizes, followed by it takes too much time and it's less rigorous. I guess those are the kind of the top
If
three.
if I
Yeah.
can add something, James.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Mo.
obviously
Yeah.
the whole thing it's about the usual PBL, the points, badges, and leaderboard. But
Yeah.
just throw some of that and you get yourself a game. But let's look at gamification as it's you're not here trying to design a learning, but you're trying to design for decisions. So
Hmm.
what kind of decisions you want your learners to take after? And you need to put into consideration a difference between three things: outcome, behavior, and actions. So I'm not going to talk about the outcome too much because you want people to get better at maybe a communication or something. Well, that's a really good outcome, but it's not going to happen only by a system, like gamification system. But you're looking for a pattern of behavior that they should do. Now, that pattern of behavior consists of actionable, teachable steps that are pretty observable that the learner should be able to utilize and should be able to take. So think on a minute level, what kind of actions you want people to do and how you want them to get the feedback upon it and how you're going to be rewarding that action. If you're able to do that, you're taking the first steps of getting yourself a gamification system. Then later on, see if you're going to be rewarding this with a freaking badge, with points, with whatever that is. Give them chocolates. But if you're rewarding something that is not there, you're designing for all the wrong decisions.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Very good. Yeah. All right, awesome, guys. Hey, good start. Good start. I'm loving this. Okay, let's go on to level two. So level two is called Mechanic Match, and this one we're gonna go right back to you, Mo. You're gonna get to start this
Okay.
one off. So the question is this: when you're sketching out a new experience, and I know I see on your LinkedIn all the time you're sharing the different new experiences that you're creating at the Catalyst. So when you're sketching out a new experience, which mechanics do you reach for first because they just plain work? What would you say are your go-tos?
Fair enough. People, when they start thinking about a game, they'll be like, okay, do I want to do a board game? Do I want to do an escape game? Should I create a Jeopardy for all I care about? Okay, what I always think about, which would help with the immersion, is think about a story, think about a lore. People usually consider stories as a form of aesthetics. And I'm not talking here stories like Super Mario. I'm talking, okay,
Mhm.
what's the journey that you want to put the people to? So, story is, or stories in general, there are an overarching mechanic. How is that? Because once you put a story, stories need to have a victory condition at the end, an epic meaning, a calling, all the way to the end. Learners, they need to take after a specific identity. So are there going to be knights, astronauts, players themselves? Like for example, this today we had a game for cybersecurity, on cybersecurity awareness, and the employees were taking after the role of hackers instead of
Okay.
being employees. So we're doing
Mhm.
a bit of metacognition. We want you to be the attacker, to think of how the
Yeah,
attackers would attack you. And
that's good.
accordingly, once a story is there, you'll be able to come up with a strategy. And if your story has dragons, well, you know that dragons will fly and they will lay eggs and they will breathe fire. Once you get a story out, it will give you a progression system. It will give you a specific strategy for competition or collaboration or both. It will give you a victory condition. So when we do that, start with a story,
Hmm.
see how it goes. Then afterwards, what will be the best way to showcase that story? Would it be a board? Would it be a set of cards? Would it be something on Genially itself? And you're going to be using branching scenarios? Think about it this way. That's the easiest way to start off with a gamification system.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I did the story thing. Yeah, that's solid. That's good. How about you guys? Armando, Jeremy, what are your go-tos?
So thank you. So I agree with Mo. For me, the storytelling it's important. It's the most important part. In order to for activity to be engaging for our students or for our community, it has to be like a story that it has their context that they're meaningful to them. So that's the most important part to me. And also the progression. To me, the progression is really important. It has to have the right amount of challenging that is not too difficult for our students and is not too easy for our students. There, we can have lots of a really good story or a really good scenario or everything, but if it's too hard, we're going to lose them. And if it's too easy, maybe it's going to be like, nah, this is not the right activity for me. So for me, storytelling and the progression levels.
That's good. That's good. Jeremy?
I would just add that I think three things are helpful. Timers. So we have a time delineation. This is just 5 minutes. We're getting momentum. We're getting excited. It's limited. It's not going to be forever. It's not going to be boring. And I often use a free online timer on the screen, on the big screen, projector screen, so people see and hear the clock ticking. It kind of adds a little bit of excitement. And then teams, so they get to work with colleagues, get to know each other, get to work with their classmates or friends or colleagues. So there's a little bit of social element, a little bit of social energy that's part of this. They're not just sitting alone, they're kind of getting energy from someone else. And then touch points, which are basically things they love. So I often like to tie this kind of gamified activities to something that people are really excited about. So I'll ask them, what's your favorite store? What's your favorite band? What's your favorite show? What's your favorite movie? We'll try to tie whatever we're doing to something that they love, that they're excited about, that gives them energy. And then they kind of light up, right? Then they're thinking about something fun, something they enjoy and that makes them smile. And if I can tie that to the game or to the activity, it makes it all the more fun.
That's awesome. That makes me think of yeah, I created a game recently for my sixth grade daughter. She's into K-pop, so I used a K-pop template. Genially has a K-pop template. If you didn't know that, now you know. And I used it, and she got 100 on her math quiz afterwards. So hey, I don't know, I don't know. I'm just saying. I
Respect.
think the K-pop might have had something to do with it. So look at the audience poll, guys. Let's take a look at the results of that one. So which game mechanic do you find most effective? We had quests and levels as the top two, right? Quests and levels, followed by teams as number three. And then we had points, badges, timers, a little bit lower, but everything got a vote. Everything got a vote. Okay, awesome. Let's move on to
I'm
level
glad
three.
that
Level three.
Jeremy, I'm glad that
Yeah.
Jeremy left a piece for people to read. I've left also an article about the use of story mechanics because it goes a lot more deep. So hopefully people could make a value out of that with what Jeremy mentioned and mine as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for putting those in the chat. I didn't realize you did that. That's awesome. That's great. Okay. All right. So, level three, evidence and assessment. So, this one we're going to start with Armando. And the question is, let me go here. Here's the question. So, what do you like to pay attention to in the flow of play that'll quietly tell you, yep, this is working. People are learning, this is changing behavior, or whatever it is that you're going for. The objective is being met. What do you look for to see that?
Yeah, thank you, James. For so there are like two main areas that you can take a look at to receive feedback or receive evidence or receive a piece of assessment. The most obvious, and that everyone can look is like the results. The results, how the questions were responses, if they're like a common mistake in your some questions, some areas, some of kind of content that will give you insight if the students are there yet, or they need to be learning something, or do you need to reinforce that lesson? How much time do they spend in each scenario? How much time do they spend in each activity? So that's the obvious one, and that's an easy that everyone knows. But to me, it's more important like the small actions or the small behaviors when students are interacting with the activity or with the experience, and you can easily tell if they're engaged or if they're not engaged. I really like to do observation when I'm doing an activity, if it's a collaborative activity. So you will see if they're engaged, if they have meaningful conversations, if they're just
Mm.
everyone, if they're participating, if they're leaning in the board or in the iPad or whatever they're using. That will tell you more information, that will give you more information than the actual results. If they're in individual activities, if you see them like lean in and fully focus on the activity and not just go looking around, that will give you more information. To me, it's always about the, if you see that students are not taking this activity as a task, but they're taking it as a challenge, then you're in a good way in your activity.
That's good. That's good. And I love that meaningful conversations, right? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, when you hear students, or learners actually having a real conversation about it. They're not talking about the party that they went to last night or whatever, right? They're talking about what they're actually doing, right? That's definitely a good indicator. Mo, Jeremy, you have anything to add to this one?
Well, I come from the world of completion rates, which is an
Uh,
issue because people are looking for ROIs in the form of completion rates. Because sometimes you could create a game and put it in a SCORM compliant format on a learning management system. But what I care about the most is offboarding, how they be able to utilize the actions that they've had and use it on the job. So by all means, if you're putting up a game and you need evidence and assessment, you need to be offering people procedures, templates, processes, tools, or what we call logos, logic that they could use on the job. And they can basically
I think we lost you there for a second, Mo. Did we lose Mo?
I'll jump in while Mo is getting his energy
Perfect. Go
back.
for it, Jeremy.
A few things I find really helpful with this. One is just free writes. Free writes can be in any format, on paper, on Genially, on some other platform, on Zoom, whatever it is. Just giving people a minute of quiet time to write down what they're learning, what they're thinking, what they're transforming in their own mind into their own knowledge or understanding. So that's a very simple one. It can be used in virtually any context. A second piece of it is taking that and then breaking it down further or synthesizing and analyzing it. So once you've written down stuff for a minute, you might have a few scattered sentences, a couple of different ideas. So then you take another minute or two and you structure it. What are the 3 points you would structure out of that free write? So now you've structured your thinking, you've put it into a form that's a little bit more digested, analyzed, synthesized. And the third step is to explain to someone else or teach someone else. There's a lot of literature and learning science that shows us that one of the best ways to really understand something and assess whether somebody understands something is to have them explain it or try to explain it.
Mhm.
And you can do that on Zoom by, putting people in a breakout room or having them chat with one another, a direct message. You could do it in human, terms in a real classroom like we have here at CUNY in the city. Students are sitting next to each other, explaining to each other something and trying to find a concise, effective, clear way to explain it. And so those 3 steps really help you get a sense as a teacher if somebody really understands something. And you also, by the way, just to add to that, you also get a sense of what's missing. So you hear their explanation or you see their 3 steps and you say, oh, okay, so you're getting most of it. One thing, let's go over again, is this other element. And you can basically refine and iterate on the game or the instruction to make sure that you're building on what you see in the assessment.
James, we can't hear you.
we can't hear James.
While James is getting back on,
Sorry.
I'll add one other thing, which is I like the Winnie the Pooh questions too sometimes for assessments, which is every answer is right. A lot of times with assessments, people feel a little bit of a sting or frustration if they get something wrong, even if it's just for learning. So sometimes I like to put questions in there just easy and all of the answers are right and everyone gets full credit just to show them that, yeah, you actually are learning. Yes, you actually know and you're making progress.
Perfect.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yay. Yay, technology. All right, so cool. Let's see what the audience had to say about that one. So the strongest, which gives the strongest evidence of learning. So they had, oh, it was a three-way tie actually. So checklist artifact, live demo, and reflection snippet were the three that tied at the top there. And then, but we also got some votes for 60-second explainer and peer review. Okay, cool. All right. Let's move on to level 4. Okay, so this one's all about motivation mastery. And so, Jeremy, we're going to start with you on this one. And the question is this: motivation, as we all know, no matter who it is, tends to ebb and flow, right? So, how do you keep learners leaning in, as Armando mentioned earlier, leaning in over time without leaning too hard on the points and the prizes?
So for me, relevance is crucial. Relevance is primary. If people feel like something is connected to something they're learning, connected to their lived experience, connected to something they're excited about in the future, that's going to be more resonant for them than something that just feels like an abstract, artificial, academic activity. So it has to be relevant, it has to feel interesting. Sometimes I mentioned earlier, I'll ask them about their favorites, right? Favorite song, favorite musician, favorite movie, favorite TV show, favorite store, favorite food, whatever it is. We'll try to tie something to that to make it relevant. In terms of a material that they're submitting, whether it's an assessment or homework or some other activity, I think the quick feedback is also really crucial. There's a lot of cases where teachers historically, one of my daughters had a teacher who didn't return her English writing for months at a time. She basically had forgotten what she wrote. And with a lot of things like athletics, we get instant feedback, right? If you shoot a basket, you get feedback. It went in or it didn't. And you can correct, or soccer, or whatever your sport of choice is, tennis, the shot went over the net or it didn't. You get an instant feedback, you can make an adjustment. But with learning, oftentimes we wait weeks, right, to give feedback or to give detailed feedback. So I do think fast feedback is really, really helpful. So people know, oh yeah, I'm on track, or oh, I got to sharpen this aspect, even if it's not exhaustive, even if it's not detailed. And for feedback, I like visual feedback and audio feedback so people can see and feel your humanity and hear your voice and see you. And actually, a secret that I feel is really valuable for educators is that sometimes that's a lot faster than typing out all the feedback or writing out all the feedback, which can be quite time consuming if you try to make it perfect like we do as educators. So visual feedback, just recording yourself, explaining something quickly, or an audio message, quick feedback is really, really valuable.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. As a former English teacher, I can sympathize with the English teachers out there who have trouble getting those essay feedback things back quickly because it does take some time. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. Cool, cool. Armando, what do you have for this one? Anything?
Want to go, Armando?
Yeah, go ahead, Mo.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start that this is more of a design issue, a core. So when it comes to building up the motivation formats that you want for a learning game, you need to think a couple of steps back. Now, I'm gonna lean on the book by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, which is Optimal Flow. So you, at first, when you're building up a gamification system, you need to manage a balance between challenge and mastery. How good people are in this, and how far are you challenging them? If the challenge is too easy, they're gonna get bored and they're gonna get pretty much frustrated. It's like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to continue on with this. And if it's too challenging and it's too awful to them, too difficult to them, they're going to hate it and they're going to detest it and they're going to be pretty anxious about it. So you need to maintain an understanding of balance first. Now, take that balance and then put it on a grid and start to put into consideration the self-determination theory. How far are people autonomous in taking decisions related to the learning decisions of the game? And as they go forward, like what happened with Jeremy's daughter, as they go forward, are they getting any instant feedback, real-time feedback, possible feedback on how good are they as they progress from one point to the other? So autonomous in what they do, feedback loop, there's a core loop that tells them what they're doing and if they're doing it right, wrong, mediocre, and why. And at the end, again, leaning on what you guys have been mentioning, is purpose and relevance. So it's autonomy, competence, and mastery, and then purpose, which is the self-determination theory by Ryan and Deshi, is that things have to be meaningful to the people. They're not doing something because they're pressured to it, but it's actually going to be offering a meaning and a resonance to what they're learning or what they're doing or how to get to benefit up their life. So if you put both of those when you're designing, you're pretty much good to go as you're forming the motivation aspects of a game.
Good, good. All right, Armando?
Perfect. Thank you. So I agree totally with Jeremy and Mo. And just to add something different, I like to focus, and I'm going back to question number one, I like to focus on simplicity. Simplicity. If a group of students is asking you, what's next? What should I do here? What was the next activity? How do I move forward? I think there's motivation starts, you start losing motivation with your students. So simplicity is the key concept of learning experience for me. So it takes you from not only the how do you move forward or how you find clues or how do you find information, but it's also on the design. I've been noticing on the last couple of years that also students, when they feel like design, if we're talking about high-tech activities, if we look at overcrowded or overwhelmed design, there starts with a little bit of getting anxious, and there start with a little bit you're starting to losing them. So I honestly like to keep things simple, easy to navigate, easy for them to understand how they can progress, what's the next activity, and what's the expected outcome for them. So to me, it's all about simplicity.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Keep it simple, right? Okay, great. Let's take a look at the audience vote. Okay, this one was, I guess, a little bit more of a landslide this time around. What motivates learners most in your context? Well, for the most people, they say work with real world application. There we go. That relevance piece, right? Yeah. And then seeing progress was somewhat of a distant second, and choice and control was third place after that. Okay, great. All right. Well, we're running a little bit short on time, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I want to open it up to our audience Q&A here and give our audience members an opportunity to ask questions of our three experts. So if you have a question that you want to ask, if you want to direct it to a particular person, feel free to go ahead and put the name there, Jeremy, Mo, or Armando. Or if it's just a general question, you can just pop it there in the chat. But yeah, anybody who has a question, go ahead and put them in, and we'll see what our experts have to say. Anybody have a question? Everybody's thinking really hard. Okay, well, here's one from Lynn. Does Genially plan? Okay, well, this might be a question for me. We'll see. Does Genially plan to release more adult level escape rooms and corporate templates? They are needed. Yeah, I will say, yeah, we're like 1,500 plus templates at this point, right?
Can I answer that one, James?
Sure, yeah, Mo, go ahead. Yes, please.
By all means, Lynn, there's nothing called an adult level
The
escape room
automatic
for one
dispenser.
simple reason. Why? Because using Genially's template since 2021, I've been using it with ministers, ambassadors of the African Union and the African Parliament. So it's really about what you put in the design and how you're utilizing the aesthetics to fit with what is needed. So you can turn any template to what you need. But if you're looking for a template that would fit what you wanted specifically, you're going to be having a hard time. Just figure that Genially is a tool. You're the designer. Make something out of it and go crazy. So I've used the racetrack escape game before and the factory escape game, or like the factory escape game before. And I've done it with people that are in their 50s and 40s and 60s. And they've been going crazy about it. But so it's about what you put in it and how you utilize it rather than looking for the aesthetics.
That's good. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, and just to add to the template discussion, our creative team is amazing, amazing, right? And I think anybody who's seen our template library knows they are very very good at what they do. But yeah, they're giving you a jumping off point is what they're giving you with those templates. They're giving you maybe some ideas, a base, a foundation of sorts. But yeah, the design part of the game really does. Yeah, it comes down to you. And certainly, yeah, absolutely. There's going to be more and more, plenty more templates being released in the future. We're up over 1,500 plus right now, and they're always releasing more. So I'm sure you're going to see more and more of those templates of all kinds, not just corporate. Yeah. Okay, it looks like we have another question here from Brenda. Brenda says, "What do you suggest to start in the gamification world besides the storytelling, progression, and strategy? I mean, for someone who's new in this world, what should they do to start?"
Well, there are like a plethora of books that could help with something like that, I suppose.
Okay, all right. So some of the
Okay,
books and articles that the guys have suggested, right? Yeah.
if I could add something, here's a Genially that I've created God knows how many years ago. It's a
Mhm.
bookshelf. And just go to the gamification and books, and you will find books like Play to Learn by Carl Clapp and Sharon Bowler. There's actionable gamification. Just click on dig in. Mind that this is pretty simple because I've created this, I guess, like 4 or 5 years ago. Go to the gamification books.
Mhm.
Okay,
Here, let me go back here.
home.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
just clicking around. There we go.
yeah. Yeah, here
Yeah,
are
there we go.
books. Play to Learn, Gamification, Actionable Gamification by Yukai Chao, Emotify by Michael Sutton, Game On for the Win, and also one of the best books ever is The Art of Game Design by Jesse Shell. That's like a staple. That's like a Bible when it comes to
Ah, there we
gamification
go.
books.
Very cool. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate that. All right, all right.
At the
And
other,
okay, so yeah, getting started. Go ahead, Jeremy.
oh,
Yeah.
just gonna say, I think those are great. By the way, that's a terrific Genially, a good example of like using Genially creatively to share resources. That's really inspiring. Thanks. I would just
Mhm.
add, I think at the other end of the simplicity spectrum, like you can read a book and you can spend, months like taking courses on gamification. There's so much depth you can go into. However, I would also say for me, the best way is just to dive in and do something super
Oops.
simple, right? Come up with a very simple game. Like Mo walked us through some of the core elements of a game. Like just create very simple objective, very simple set of rules and guidance. There's just 3 steps. We're going to do this in the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like something very, very simple and easy without a lot of technical complexity. Because once you've done it once, then you'll see, oh yeah, this worked well, but this part was a little bit dull, or this part could be better next time. And then you build and build from there. I think a lot of times people spend way too much time clearing their throat, like getting
Mhm.
ready, reading lots of background material when actually what they really need is just to try it, just like jump in, just do it, just like get in there, make something, make it bad. It's okay. Just try it once with a friend to practice, to prototype, and then like iterate from there.
Okay, great, great. And okay, so here's another, this is a good question that just popped into the chat from our Genially team. So Veronica Soto asked this question. What was the most challenging audience you've designed a game for?
Well, let me answer that one, James.
Hmm.
I've worked with since I work for a district office, I have been working with students from K to 12, but also I do lots of teacher training and admin training. Every group, I cannot say one that it's specifically difficult or hard. I mean, they all have their differences and you have to adapt different things. Everything it's up to how do you manage the content and how do you manage the story and the progression and the challenge. So if you want to try to use the same resource or the same activity that you're using for students in grade 12 and students in grade 11 and use it for a corporate training or use it for a teacher training, of course it's not, you're going to find it really difficult. So if I can say, like, probably teachers are hard to engage. It's a little bit harder to engage teacher than students. Students are really easy, and if you do inquiry-based learning, I mean, if you focus on what they wanted to learn, it's easy. With teachers, because you see lots of different age ranges and different levels of experience, level of engagement, or even willingness to learn, that can be really kind of complicated. But if you focus on how they will interact and how they will engage, then it's gonna be easier for you.
That's great. Yeah, we used to always joke teachers are the hardest students, you know.
For
So how
sure.
about okay, so yeah, how about this question, guys? What would you prioritize when creating a gamified narrative that genuinely hooks your intended audience? Character arcs, meaningful choice loops, or feedback and rewards, and why? So character arcs, meaningful choice loops, or feedback and rewards.
Meaningful choice loops all the way.
Mm,
Because
okay.
you need to be giving people agency. Agency is the name of the game here. Agency simply fuels the gameplay. And based on that agency, you'll be able to see, okay, how far am I going to be? And according to which you'll be designing the character arcs and maybe a background story to them if necessary and if it's needed or not. Sometimes we put avatar just a name, just a zhuzh, just a little bit of jazz to the whole thing, but it's not deep. So we're just putting it there as decoration. And also based on the meaningful choices, you'll be able to offer them the righteous feedback and accordingly the right reward for them to continue on being able to continue on in the system itself. So here we could be using maybe progress bars, maybe we could be using to initiate the reward system. Maybe we could be using a near win effect, like you're almost there, you're about to
Mhm.
get there. So all of those are dependent on what kind of meaningful choice you want to put them into and the incremental change of behavior that they'll be starting to build.
Okay, good. And then how about okay, so we have time for one more question, and this one is from Marco. It says, could you please share your point of view on how to use hints in an efficient way in gamification?
Well,
I,
hints are nudges. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
go
Armando.
ahead, Mo. Go, no, go ahead, please.
Oh no, no, no. I'm a Mediterranean, so you pay the bill, not me. Go for it.
Perfect. So, thank you, Mo. So, to me, hints are like should be scaffold. They're not just to give away answers because they're also if you use hints in a way to just give away, then they're gonna lose the engagement and level of progression or challenging. They're gonna know that there's always gonna be a hint that will tell you the answer. So with Genially, talking about Genially, it is really easy to scaffold the hints. Like for level one, then just a small hint, and then if they got incorrect again, level two, just a little bit extra information hint. So I think that will be the best advice that I can give. Use scaffolded hints in order to help them, but not help them since the very beginning they got an answer wrong or they got just a challenge that they cannot go through.
Okay, good, good. Mo?
Well, the whole thing about hints is basically a nudge. So exactly as how Armando said, how far are you going to nudge them to continue on? Because if they started to build up a dependency on your hints, they're not going to continue on. That's why I usually tell my designers, apply hints, not aid. So just give them something that can nudge them to continue on. And sometimes the nudge is just there as a smart default choice that they can capitalize on. So whether they go for the hint or not, you're not really offering them other than the illusion of a hint. But at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the system, you're giving them hint to know how to move, then gradually just take out the hints until they don't need it anymore. Because now they have to continue on the whole thing on their own.
That's awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Great, great conversation. And thank you so much for answering all of those audience questions. That was great. And thank you, audience, for the great questions. All right, we're running short on time. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun before we wrap this thing up. We're gonna go into the boss battle. Okay, we have officially reached the boss battle. We have the dragon here in the dungeon, and we're gonna see if we can beat the dragon. And so the way we're gonna do that is with a lightning round. Okay, so roundtable participants, the rule here is 5 seconds or less for your responses. So just super quick, just whatever comes right off the top of your head, give your answer for this. We have a lightning round of 10 quick questions, and let's see how you do. Let's see if we can slay this dragon. Here we go. So first one, all-time favorite video game.
Currently, Expedition 33, Claire
Okay.
Obscure. Amazing game. Game of the year.
Armando, Jeremy, quick, favorite video game?
Oldie but goodie, Metal Gear Solid.
Ah, yeah, good.
I
Okay.
like Spelling Bee. It's not really a video game, but New York
That
Times
works.
Spelling Bee.
That works. All-time favorite board game.
I like one called Point Salad right now. It's just a light board, tabletop game.
Okay.
I'm playing lots of Carcassonne right now.
Okay.
Splendor.
Splendor. Okay. All right. Co-op, head-to-head, or solo?
I like cooperative games with
Co-op.
my family, my 2 daughters. It's fun.
Okay. Co-op. Did I hear co-op from Was it Armando?
Co-op, especially Split Fiction and It Takes Two. One of the best games that you can play co-op these days.
Ah,
No.
yeah, okay. And Armando?
I will say head to head.
Head-to-head. All right. He wants a
I like
challenge.
competition.
Mortal
All right,
Kombat.
what's your- yeah, there we go. Mortal Kombat. What's your favorite Genially template? There's a lot to choose from.
To me, all the escape rooms, but I usually use the theme. I use the 90s theme escape room.
Ah, okay. All right.
I like the
There was one that I-
icebreaker ones
Sorry,
and,
go
and
for it.
Jeopardy game show type ones.
Okay, good. Awesome. Mo?
There was one where they used the reveal option pretty good, which was the murder mystery one, where they had to
Yeah.
like hide a body and all. That was a really good one.
Crime in the Building. Yeah, Crime in the Building, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, okay, so I think we've sort of answered this a little bit, but go-to progress signal, progress bar, checklist, or badge?
Progress bar.
checklists. I like checklists.
Checklist, progress bar. Armando, did you say progress
Progress
bar?
bar.
Yeah, progress bar.
Okay. All right.
Progress bar.
Perfect team size for a game.
3 to 5.
I like 3. I think the
3 to
5th
5 per
sometimes
team.
gets left out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
4.
Good. All right. 4. Okay. Most valuable non-tech gamification item.
Cards.
Sand
Cards.
timers,
Ah,
or paper.
mentioned that earlier. Sand timers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Armando, non-tech.
Non-tech badges. I think non-tech badges or descriptors are really good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Favorite Genially widget.
The AI widget. That's gonna be my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I am going
Oh, yeah.
to feast on that one.
If you guys, yeah, and audience members, if you have not checked out the Wicked Wizard session from yesterday, you gotta check it out. I don't dress as a wizard for just anything, okay? that thing, that AI widget generator is gonna be incredible, Yeah. Jeremy, Armando, did you have something else?
Just clocks and the use of clocks in each page is good.
Yeah.
Timers.
Okay. Good. All right. Leaderboards, yes, no, or depends.
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 I say generally not.
Okay.
Even if I'm competitive, I will say no.
Okay. All right. Got it. One word. Okay. The last one. One word you want our audience to take away from this roundtable. What's the one word?
Agency. Give people
Agency.
agency.
Okay. Yeah, this is a thinker.
Just do it.
Just-
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to go for something like that. Like, let's go, let's try it.
Action, try it, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
trial and error, prototype, etc.
Simplicity.
Yeah, whatever. Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Look at that. We took them out.
Yeah.
Yay, we win. Awesome. Yeah, we did it, guys. Okay, we beat the boss. We slayed the dragon. Okay, so by the way, if you thought that boss battle looked cool, that was adapted from a Genially digital breakout template called the Dragon's Dungeon. If you want to check that out at some point, feel free. I do want to say a huge thank you to our roundtable panelists, Jeremy Kaplan, Mo Ash, and Armando Cortez. Be sure to follow them on socials, subscribe to Jeremy's Wonder Tools newsletter, check out all the awesome gamification and digital learning stuff that they're doing. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks. That was fun.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
See
Yes,
you.
yes.
That was
And
amazing.
before, oh, and Mo's got his little Genially logo on there. Attaboy, there we go. Now, before we wrap up, okay, we do have some free resources for you. So for those of you who are here in attendance, you're all VIPs, and so we want to give you some VIP resources. So there's a bit.ly on the screen, bit.ly/roundtableres, or you can scan the QR code, whatever you prefer, and it will take you to this magical gamification resources arcade that we are giving to you. We have Breakout of Boring. This is a Genially tutorial that's disguised as a breakout created by one of our Genially ambassadors and another gamification expert, Carly Mora. So shout out to Carly for that. Next, we have our Concepts Comparison Flip Cards. It's a reusable Genially template that uses the flip card widget with interactive questions. It was designed with a corporate audience in mind, but it's easy to adapt to K-12 and to higher ed. Then we have the interactive map. That's a reusable example that shows how to gamify and differentiate an interactive image. In this case, it's a map, but it can be adapted for any image, really. And then finally, Rear Window. This is a Genially breakout that was made by our instructional design team. It shows the incredible immersive potential of Genially, and it includes a how-to for many of the elements that you'll see. So you'll kind of get a peek behind the curtain and how to actually do that. And one more resource. Yeah, I'm in this Genially, so Genialize that. This is a weekly social media video series that I post generally every Wednesday with a 60 to 90-second tip on turning everyday content into interactive Genially magic. So you can follow me at Genially James on socials so you can catch all of those. Okay, so the QR code and the bit.ly are on the screen, and I believe they probably also shared it in the chat. So grab what you need, reuse it freely, bookmark it, share it with your friends. Again, yeah, thank you all so much for joining us on the Future Ride. Be sure to join us for part 2 of the Future Ride, the VIP flight to the lab of tomorrow. You're going to get an opportunity to see some of the hottest, soon to be released Genially features that you are going to absolutely love. That happens this Thursday at 5 p.m. CET, 11 a.m. Eastern US time. This is also our last WonderFest attraction for the day today, so be sure to check out tomorrow's schedule and join us for all the great rides and attractions that we've planned for you. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and enjoy the rest of Genially WonderFest. Bye-bye.